Jake had always been a dreamer, constantly jotting down ideas for novels, scripts, and inventions. But that's all they ever were, ideas. Every time he sat down to start working on something, he'd find an excuse to delay. Tomorrow, he'd tell himself, I'll get to it tomorrow. One day, while cleaning out his attic, Jake stumbled upon an old, dusty box. Inside, he found a bundle of yellowed papers tied together with a faded red ribbon. Curiosity piqued. He untied the ribbon and began reading. It was a series of letters written to someone named Emily, filled with emotions, confessions, and regrets. The last letter ended abruptly with a line, I'll tell her tomorrow. But there was no tomorrow letter in the stack. Jake felt a pang of unease. Who was Emily? Why were the letters left unsent? Determined to find out, Jake took the letters to his elderly neighbor, Mrs. Robinson, who had lived in the neighborhood for over 60 years. She squinted at the papers, her eyes widening as she recognized the handwriting. These were written by Charles, the previous owner of your house, she said, her voice trembling. He was deeply in love with Emily, but he never told her. He always put it off, waiting for the right moment. But that moment never came. Jake felt a shiver run down his spine. Charles's procrastination had cost him a chance at love. The parallel to Jake's own life was striking. He had been putting off his dreams, just like Charles had put off telling Emily how he felt. That night, Jake couldn't sleep. The unfinished story of Charles and Emily gnawed at him. The next morning, he made a decision. He wouldn't wait for tomorrow anymore. He sat down at his desk, opened his laptop, and began typing the first chapter of a novel based on the letters. But this wasn't just about Charles and Emily, it was about Jake's journey too. As he wrote, the story seemed to take on a life of its own. The more he delved into the characters, the more he felt a strange connection to them, almost as if they were guiding his hand. Days turned into weeks, and Jake was consumed by the story, writing late into the night. Then, something unexpected happened. One day, as he was writing a particularly emotional scene, his screen flickered, and the words he had just typed disappeared, replaced by a single line. Thank you for finishing what I couldn't. Jake stared at the screen, his heart pounding. Was it a glitch? Or something more? The next moment, the words vanished, and his original text reappeared. Jake was shaken, but determined to finish the novel. Finally, after months of hard work, the novel was complete. Jake sent it to a publisher, not expecting much. But within a week, he received a call. The publisher loved it and wanted to sign a deal immediately. The novel became a bestseller, and Jake was thrust into the spotlight. During an interview, he was asked what inspired him to write the story. He smiled, thinking of Charles, the letters, and that mysterious message. It was a reminder that we can't put off what truly matters, he said, because sometimes tomorrow never comes. After the book's release, Jake returned to his attic to thank Charles in some way. As he stood there, he noticed a small, hidden compartment in the old box where he found the letters. Inside, there was a single, unopened letter addressed to Emily. Jake carefully opened it, expecting a final confession, but instead, it was a simple, heartfelt apology. Dear Emily, I'm sorry I waited too long. Please know that I always loved you. Maybe in another life, I'll find the courage to tell you sooner. Jake felt tears welling up. He realized that finishing the story had not only fulfilled his own potential, but had also brought peace to Charles's memory. From that day on, Jake made a promise to himself. He would never let procrastination hold him back again. The unwritten letter had taught him that the time to act is now, and that sometimes, finishing what others left incomplete can lead to the most unexpected and meaningful twists in life.